Hello, we're talking Enneagram today, folks. This is something that I have wanted to talk about since I started this channel. I knew it was something that is very, very important to me and I wanted to share it, but I just needed to find the right words and the right moment really to dive in. And today's that day. Today is that day. If you don't know what the Enneagram is, the Enneagram consists of 9 different personality types, and you belong to one of those types. The Enneagram is like, you know what? I understand that people are different. People kind of change, and while your type doesn't change, when you are stressed out, you go and you take from one of the other types. When you are growing, when you are doing great, you take from another type. You also have your wings, which are the numbers on either side of your type number that you kind of borrow from those personalities as well. So it's not, you're just stuck in this one thing. This is all you have to give. That's it. There's a lot more to it. And to me, that makes the Enneagram way more fascinating. My thought is that we would go through each of the types. I would explain what each one of them is, and then share fictional characters that I think belong in each of those types. If you are wondering which type you belong to, maybe this will give you a little bit more information. I know there's tons of quizzes out there that you could take, and if you do, my only suggestion is it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters what quiz, what website you go to take it. Just take it one time and be as honest as you can. We know what we want to be, and I think all Enneagram types are created equal in a sense that not one is better than another. You can tell yourself that, but there's one that you're like, man, I wish I was that type. Man, I wish I was that type. And that can kind of skew your results. And I think that that's what happened for me, because when I took the Enneagram several years ago now, gave me the wrong type. So for a few years, I thought I was a type 1 on the Enneagram, and I'm not a type 1 Enneagram. If you must take a quiz, just do it once and be as honest as you can. Not what you think other people think or what you think is a cooler answer. Genuinely just like take a moment and really think about who you are, what motivates you, and answer those questions as honestly as possible. And I think you're going to get a better result because of it. The quizzes are good as like a jumping off part, but they're not definite. So don't be afraid to take that result and read about it. And if you're like, okay, yeah, that's definitely me, that's 100% me, then you can kind of focus your investigation and focus your interests on that type. But also, don't be afraid to look at other types, because for a while there, I thought I was type 1, and I didn't really look outside of that. But in kind of becoming more interested in the Enneagram as a whole, that was when I started looking into the other types and learning, oh, okay, that doesn't resonate with me the way that this other type does. And I had read somewhere that if you're ever uncertain about what your type is, read the negative things, read the weaknesses of each type. And if you feel like, wow, I feel so called out with this specific type, that's probably the type that you are. When you feel uncomfortable, when you're like, God, that's me. That makes me uncomfortable how much that answers who I am. That's probably your type. Let's get started. Type 1, the reformer. They are motivated by doing what is right. They have very high morals, high values, and ethics are very, very important to them. And I also think that fairness, everything being fair, is important to them as well. They fear being bad, being defective, or getting corrupted. Their strengths are that they are detail-oriented, they are self-disciplined, they are ethical, and they are organized. So type 1s, I think, are Steve Rogers. Hardcore one, Steve Rogers. Ned Stark. I think that Mary Poppins is a type 1. Most Jedi are type 1s. Not all Jedi are type 1s, but I think a fair amount of Jedi fall into the type 1 category. And I think Rose Tico is also a type 1. Type 2, the helper. I think that they are motivated by their need to be needed. They want to help others, and they crave connection with with other people, especially their loved ones. They fear being unwanted or unworthy of love. They desire being needed. I'd say that their strengths are that they're encouraging, they're empathetic, they're affectionate, and they're generous people. Type 2 in the fictional realm would be Molly Weasley, Samwise Gamgee, Peeta Mellark, Morticia Addams. I will die on that hill. Morticia Addams is a type 2. And I think T'Challa, I think Black Panther is also a type 2. Type 3, the achiever. Type 3s are motivated by their goals, their achievements, titles, recognition. Their image is their main focus. And I think that they fear being worthless. That's just abhorrent to them. They desire to feel worthwhile and to be valuable. Their strengths are that they are efficient, they're ambitious, they're confident, and they're adaptable people. Within the realm of type 3s, I think you have Tiana from Princess and the Frog. I think Tony Stark. I think Lando Calrissian. Jaime Lannister. I think there's also a lot of Imperials that sort of fall under the type 3. I think that Krennic is a type 3. I think Palpatine is a type 3. Image is very important to them. Type 4. The individualist. Type 4s are motivated by their desire to be special and unique and different, and having a purpose. They fear having no significance. They desire to find their identity. That's very important to them. And I think that their strengths are that they are sensitive, they're self-aware, they're intuitive, and they're unique people. They really are. Type 4s look like Anne Shirley. I think Loki, Daenerys Targaryen, Lydia Dietz, Kylo Ren. All type 4s. Type 5s, the investigators. They are motivated by their thirst for knowledge, for data, for learning, and for education. They fear being helpless, being useless, or ignorant. They desire to be capable and to be competent. Their strengths are that they're curious people, they're observant people, they're perceptive, and they're very capable people. And I think in the fictional realm, that looks like Arthur Weasley. I think Sherlock Holmes, Jack Skellington. I think Egon from Ghostbusters is a type 5, and I think Yoda is a type 5 as well. And also my husband. Love a type 5. Type 6, the loyalist. Type 6s are motivated by their need for safety, for security, and they're also motivated by fear. They fear being without support, and I think that their desire is to have support and have security. As far as their strengths, I think that they're devoted, they're trustworthy, they're cautious, but they're also the most reliable people on the Enneagram. Our friends in the fictional realm, I think Sandor, the Hound Clegane from Game of Thrones, I think that he's the epitome of a 6. Chidi from The Good Place, Obi-Wan, Bucky Barnes, Finn from Star Wars, I think all of them. Definite 6s. Type 7, the enthusiast. Type 7s are motivated by fun, variety, opportunities, options, with love options. I'm a type 7 if you couldn't tell, and adventures. 7s fear being deprived and in pain. And I don't, nobody likes physical pain, but emotional pain is a big struggle for type 7s. And fear of missing out. And I say that as a type 7, that one hurts. Fear of missing out. We just had Star Wars Celebration last week, and that was something that I could be as logical as possible. It was the end of the school year, so we wouldn't have been able to travel. My son's birthday was we would have had to leave on his birthday. It just wasn't gonna work out. And by the way, Anaheim's crazy expensive, and that for a family of 4, that's not gonna happen. So I could tell myself, I could be as logical as I want, but there's something in the back of my monkey brain that's like, but I still wanted to go. Anyway, 7s desire to be content and to be satisfied, which can be difficult for them because they are insatiable when it comes to those things. That the strengths of a 7 are that we are charismatic, we're positive to a fault, versatile, and I think we're also playful people. As far as the fictional realm, I think Merry and Pippin, Ariel, Poe Dameron, Ahsoka, Jason from The Good Place. Type 8, the challenger. Type 8s are motivated by challenges. They're motivated by control, by power, by authority, and by justice. They fear being controlled by others. That is just the worst for a type 8. And they desire to be in control, not necessarily of other people, but they just like to be in control of their situation and protect themselves and their inner circle. I think the strengths of a type 8 are that they're bold, they're protective, they're persistent, and they are very dynamic people. As far as characters, I think you have Magneto, Winifred Sanderson, Captain Marvel, Merida. I think Princess Leia is the absolute poster child for a type 8 as well. Last, but certainly not least, type 9, the Peacemaker. Type 9s are motivated by peace and harmony and collaborating with others. They fear separation and loss, and they certainly fear conflict. They desire to have inner stability. Their strengths are that they are open-minded, they are very diplomatic, they are supportive, and they are easygoing. And I want to say that I had read somewhere that type 9 is the most common type that people fall into on the Enneagram. I think type 9 is the most popular one. What that looks like in the fictional realm, you have Jon Snow, I think Max Dennison from Hocus Pocus, Mon Mothma, and another hill I'm ready to die on. I think Rey is a type 9 as well. I think that was the briefest way I could explain everything. Now I could deep dive even more. I could do videos on individual types and really get into them, and I would love to do that. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. While you're at it, let me know in the comments what your type is, or if you still are not sure based on what I've said, what do you think sounds more like you, and are you wanting to do more research on it? I'm just nosy and I like to know, but also I think the Enneagram is such an amazing way to sort of discover yourself, to really put that time and effort into learning about yourself and learning what motivates you and how you work. It's been a very exciting journey for me of self-discovery, and I think that anybody that kind of looks into it, I think you'll feel the same way, and I hope that you get a lot out of it as well. If you're interested, I also have an Instagram page called Hygge and Enneagram, and it's all Hygge, all Enneagram, and a little bit of motivation in there too. I made that page in an attempt to not annoy my cosplay friends with my Enneagram interests. If you could be so kind as to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, I will see you in my next video. Take it easy.